This presentation is on the Assignment 8 solution that I came up with. So here is the application again, and why don't we start with the home page here, Assignment 8, and I'm under the Assignment 8 files. So actually, before I go this, let me show you the directory structure here briefly. We have Assignment 8 files, and I've got all the programs that I'm going to need to run. I've got the 3 Ajax programs that I'm going to deal with, and all the other programs are here. Notice right off that I broke up the mortgage and the guest book into separate programs. They were kind of combined before. I had both forms on one page. Now, because we're running here under these files, we have relative referencing to worry about, and we have to back up a directory here to the root and then go down to the CSS or the images to get the various files we need for like the logo or the styles we need to run this program. Let's go back to the text. We're going to go to the code. So here's the opening page. And we go down, of course, to the feature. We see featured house, logo. See the logo is backing up, 2 dots and a slash to get to the images. I've done that in all the pages. I have a new set of common functions, Assignment 8 common functions. All the functions in there are ones that you've seen in previous lessons. They deal with selecting the results off a database, connecting to the database, and also deal with passing an insert, update, or delete statement to the database. You have your home list. All that's very much the same. If we come down here, however, we have the display realtors function. This is PHP, and we got to be careful to keep our PHP and JavaScript clear since we're coding them both now. And I do the select on the realtor table, and I get all this information just like I had before. But different than last time, I was only getting the first name and the image file because that's all I was displaying. And that's still all that I'm displaying at first. However, you noticed in the little yellow box that appeared to the right, I had the last name, phone, and email. So I'm pulling those columns back off of this table now too. So let's go down. We call the select results. So here I'm getting the whole thing, last name, phone, and email into these various variables. So I want to hold on to that. I got the image file. Now, I'm creating a special variable here called realtor data. This is a concatenated. Now, you got to remember, this is PHP concatenation with a dot, not a plus. So I'm concatenating first name, last name, phone, and email. This is the information I want to use on that flyout little yellow box later. So while I may print the image like I did in the past, realtor's image file, remember I've got to back up again. I'm going out of this directory to the root and then back down again. I have to put the on mouse over, show realtors, and on mouse out hides the realtor info. Now here's the trick, and this is a little hard to do, and it sometimes takes a while to get it right. I'm going to pass this to the function. You've seen that before. That's not so bad. But what's hard is I want to pass data to a function that's being defined already in a string. And this is where we get into a lot of troubles with single ticks and double quotes, trying to keep this straight. I need to wrap realtor data in either single ticks or double quotes as if I typed that JavaScript in manually, because that's what this is. Everything that comes after an event name, like on-click, on-mouse over, whatever, all this is really just JavaScript. Now, it's one line of JavaScript. It's making a function call. But here, I have to tell the print statement that this quote here is really a quote that's part of the string. And I want to keep it because I need to wrap it around the realtor data. So look here. This is one string. There's the beginning delimiter. This is the ending delimiter. This quote is not a delimiter at all. It's just part of the string. So now we have dot, and we have another string. That's the realtor data. That's this delimited string up here. And then we have another dot. And now look at this. This is the next string. We're going to have to go all the way over to get to it. This whole thing is the next string. There's the opening delimiter and the ending delimiter. This quote here has a backslash in front of it, so it's part of the string, and it's what I'm going to use to wrap around realtor data. These other ticks have to do with the other part of the on mouse over having to have beginning and ending delimiters and the on mouse out. It's easier to see here in the on mouse out, beginning tick, ending tick. So getting this right can really be difficult. And it's one of the reasons I chose to pass one delimited string here, because if I had to do this with 4 different pieces of information, it can get really hard to get right because our eyes can't see this very easily. So this way I'm only passing one thing that I got to keep track of with all these crazy delimiters. So let's go and look at the show realtor info function, which is in JavaScript. And that's at the top of the form here. Now, I could have put JavaScript in a separate file, kind of like I do here with the cascading style sheets. And truly, when you go into production with most programs, that's the way to go. I kept it in the program here between the script tags just to make it easier for us to look at it. So here's the show realtor info. I passed this to element, and the realtor info is that delimited string. We've seen before that we can split the realtor info. We can split that into an array. And so I have the array. I'm looking at the first, second, third, fourth elements and pulling it out to its respective variable name so I can deal with it. I get the div. Here I'm formatting the my HTML. I got a paragraph and I've got bold. I bolded the first and last name at the top, and then I've had 2 breaks, and then I put the phone number, phone, and the email, and the email. And that's what you saw in the yellow box. So I'm building up the variable my HTML, and then I'm going to set that to the inner HTML property of the realtor info div. And that div is the yellow div that you saw to the right. Now, that's hidden by default. So I have to find out where it is with the offset left and the offset top to get the X and Y coordinates. And remember, I now want to set the division's style top attribute to be Y plus 100 and X plus 550. That'll make it appear at the right place in the page where I wanted to see that yellow box. Now, I'm not going to see anything unless I make it visible. So the div's style visibility attribute has a value of visible, and this is how you set it. Okay, that ends part 1 of Assignment 8 Solutions. We'll pick up in the next video.